This is war, baby. This is war. We're going live. We are, I'm live on Instagram, Amanda J. Moxley. If you don't know me over there, check me out on Instagram, you guys. I'm talking today about how this is war. And yeah, it is war and how to lead your tribe to win the war. Let's get my camera on right. How's everyone doing today? Let me know if you're watching me live. Let me know if you're watching the replay. Let me know where you at? Where you at today? How's it going? I'm having a fantastic day. I have to say, I have to do driver's school. And so I had to do that. And I'm about a week out of my LASIK surgery. So that's exciting. I can see very well. My eyes have adjusted. I'm feeling so good. And let me know how, if you guys are watching me live, if you're watching the replay, and we're going to get into this. So how many of you guys feel like, you know, we're at war right now and that you're at war and, oh, that's such a good story. So you're at a war in your business, you're at a war in your family, you're at a war in your life, you're in a war. Like, this is tough, you know, like this is tough. And I could be speaking about political and I could not be speaking about political. So I'm basically going to teach you guys. Let's get into this. Okay. So here we go. Can you see me? Okay. Okay. So let's talk about it. So I realized that this is a war. We're in a full-on war, and it's so exciting. So one cold, dark December day, I remember looking at myself in the mirror and I had like bags under my eyes. I was 6 months pregnant with my second child, and I remember looking in the mirror. And it was a stare, and I stared at myself, and I said to myself, "This is war." And I looked at myself, and it was a rare stare. It was a stare that I don't normally in the normal passing by of the mirror. It's not like you're staring yourself down, and it is like a meeting yourself in that moment, and meeting yourself in that moment. And I think that, you guys, we're in battle for our dreams every day. We're in battle for our marriages. We're in battle for our health. We're in battle for our families, for our children, for our, you know, all these different decisions all day long. We're constantly up against something, and we can choose comfort or we can choose transformation. And it's really easy to just go on autopilot and choose the ease and choose the comfort and not really engage. But what's going to happen if we do that is we're just going to keep getting the same results, and then you're actually insane. If you're getting the same results and you keep doing the same actions and you keep doing the same results, then you're insane. That's the definition of insanity. So many years ago, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "This is war, and I am going to win." Finally, when you've had enough of your thoughts, if you've had enough of the results you've had, if you've had enough of losing, if you've had enough. I was at my son's basketball game, and they are a new team, and they're in 6th grade, and he's on the varsity team, and he's playing against 8th graders, and they are literally getting ruined every single week. I mean, and I'm sitting there, okay, I'm like on my fourth, I mean, I am like I'm there, I'm like on the, felt like the 4th hour, because literally I pick him up at 2:30 and we go until like 6:30, and I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there in his basketball game, and I'm like, I am so sick of losing. Like, and then they're second. Like, you have to get that energy, guys. You have to fight for it. And it's like watching these boys play basketball, watching my daughter play soccer, watching my clients in business, you guys. This is not going to be handed to you on a silver platter. You have to fight for it. You have to fight for it. And you have to fight. And the battleground is in our minds. Can I get an amen if you guys can relate to that? So you're fighting for it. And I'm sitting there. And then the second game, I was talking to one of the other moms, and I was like, you know what? I tried out for so many things in my childhood, in my teen years, and I didn't make it. Like, I tried out for cheerleading, didn't make it. I tried out for varsity, or, you know, junior varsity basketball and volleyball and all these things, and I didn't make it. And then I was telling this mom that, and she was like, I did too. I tried out for everything and I didn't make it. But the truth is that is what grows you so much stronger. And at some point, you guys, you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, "This is war, and I am going to win. This is war, and I'm going to win." And you really stare at yourself. And how do you know you're going to win? It comes from deep in your soul. and you absolutely trust yourself. You trust yourself. And the thing is, people are attracted to that power. When you rise in your power, you are leading your tribe. When you rise in your power, you are leading your tribe, and you're leading yourself, and you're leading your family. And what happens then? Yes, thank you. And what happens then is then all of a sudden the magic happens. So like with my son and his basketball team yesterday, it was like he had to fight for it. And all of a sudden then they were neck and neck with the other team, and they were fighting for it, and that winning streak. So being a winner, there's three kinds of people. There's people who that are winners, and there's people who are losers. And then there are people who are learning to win. And I think that learning to win is a skill. And learning to win is a skill that you actually have to make a clear decision. This is war, and I'm going to win. Because I think a lot of people you're too nice. You're too nice in business. You're too nice in your family. You're too nice. You're putting up with all this stuff, and you're not fighting for your dreams. So you have to know you're at war. There is a real enemy. You guys can call it your ego. You can call it your enemy. But there is an opposition. And I'm seeing opposition. I'm seeing opposition in our political world right now. I'm seeing opposition with the deep state. I'm seeing opposition with the media and big tech. I'm seeing opposition absolutely everywhere. And we know that this is a fallen world. And this fallen world, but the thing is that we're here to live it and to be the light. And the more that you can show up and first meet yourself every day and say, I'm going to win this battle. When you know that you're going to win the battle, how do you know that this is how you're going to win the battle? It's by making commitments. These are my commitments. These are the things I'm doing. These are the actions. Making the commitments for yourself, and then following through on those commitments. And then the other thing is, I've been reading in the Bible right now, and I'm reading by chance a story about Nehemiah. And Nehemiah went and he actually, hi Jill, okay, you're commenting, you guys are commenting now. So I'm going to tell you a story about Nehemiah, and then I'm going to tell you this. So so basically the Babylonians captured the Israelites, and they took the Babylonians and took the Israelites to Babylon and kept them in captivity for 70 years. Then it was time where this new king, King Cyrus, I think was his name, he came and he freed them, and then he said, okay, the Jews can go back to Israel. If I'm saying it all correctly, I'm paraphrasing all this. And then so Nehemiah went back there and he led the captives back. And then it was like they needed to rebuild and fortify the city. And this wall took time, and it was a huge wall, and people doubted that he would be able to build this wall. And their enemies were worried about the wall, but God was working for them. So Nehemiah was a leader, and he was also building the wall and he was the planner and the preparer as a major leader. So he's planning the wall, leading the wall, and I love this. Okay, this is the key. So as they're building the wall, guess what? On the left hand, they're building the wall. On their right hand, they have their swords. They have their bows and arrows. They are fighting. They're fighting off their enemies the whole time. And that is what we need to be doing in business, especially if you guys are self-employed. If you work for someone else, even if at this day and age, you work for someone else, you think you're comfortable, we've all learned this year that there is no security, right? You could something random, crazy can happen and blah, 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 blah. I've been self-employed for 15 years. So I don't really know what it's like to have the comfort of a paycheck. And I have it for a long time. But we need to be understanding that there's a real battle, and that you make a decision that you want to win. And then you work, you go to work, you work it, you have your systems, you know what you're doing, you're leading. And you know your goal, where you're heading. And at the same time, you're fighting the thoughts, you're fighting the fears, you're fighting the anxiety, you're fighting the people, the naysayers, you're fighting this battle. And then you will win. And it's a commitment. Next day, I'm fighting, I'm winning, this is war. And as you lead yourself first, you are then going to be attracting other people who see themselves in you, who want what you've got, and they're going to want to hire you. They're going to want to coach with you. They're going to want to hear you speak. They're going to want to invite you to come and speak or do whatever it is you're doing. So guys, how can you lead more? How can you show up more for yourself? How can you show up more for your tribe? And how can you show up in your power? Now, this is a time where we got to take, it's almost like we got to take a side. It's like, what side are you guys on right now? And I had this experience with a good old internet friend, and I have had a shift. I used to think and believe one way, vote politically one way, and over the last 4 years, I've shifted to another way. But most of my friends, 99.9% of my friends, including my entire family, they're still over here, but I have shifted, and I'm very proud of the shift I've had. I've shared that I'm a new creation. I've shared these things, and I'm not willing to not be friends with people just because of these political views. I'm not willing to have more divisiveness. I am willing to take a stand. And that means that you're going to have backlash. You're going to have people not like you. They're not going to this and that. And so that's why it's war. And so you can choose to engage and go to your lower self, or you can choose to rise up and communicate and rise up in love and be that light. And that's what I think we're called to do. I don't think it's about it's about choosing your side that's right for you and standing on that platform and leading yourself and inspiring others. Because it's very interesting. My colleague that I had this conversation with, she is really leading in one way that's opposite of what I'm leading, and she has a voice for that and is sharing that. And that's not what I believe or what I think. And so I'm leading and believing in mine. And what I understand is that we all get to be queens. We all get to be kings if you're a man. And there is enough room at the table for a diverse amount of kings and queens. The key is, you guys, you have to realize that you are a king, you are a queen, and that you show up and honor yourself. And then a queen or a king, you guys have your own kingdom and you are serving your people. And that's what you need to do. You need to serve your people. You need to show up. You need to lead and take a stand in life. I love all these hearts over here. So let's see what Jill said. I'm learning to win. I didn't used to care about winning, but I want my clients to win. So first I know how so first I have to show them how. Exactly. Lead to win. And be the light. Leave it on the field. Exactly. And fight for it. You guys, you have to fight for it, because it's like, some of you guys are like really into manifesting and visualizing, and I do all that stuff too. And imagine the possibilities and all this cool stuff, and I do that. And at the same time, you got to be strong enough in your mind to fight off the negativity, the fear, the doubt, and all that stuff. So that's a word of the day. You got to fight for your dreams. This is war. You make the decision. I'm going to win. And then you walk it out as a winner, expecting success, expecting to win, and fighting for your dreams. You got to fight for your dreams, you guys, and understand there will be an opposition. There's always going to be an opposition. I mean, we know in any good movie, like, how boring would a movie be if they just got everything they wanted and it was all happy ending? Like any movie, there's going to be a plot twist and like edge of your seat. That's where we are. So wherever you are, I wish you the best, and just stare yourself in the mirror tonight. Get your game face on and lock your eyes with yourself and tell yourself what you appreciated about yourself today, the commitments that you held to get for yourself today, what you did. Acknowledge yourself, see yourself, because if you can't see yourself, feel yourself, acknowledge yourself, then nobody else can. So lock your eyes, tell yourself this is war and I'm going to win, and then show up